Greetings. I was 6 today, James Baldwin died, and 15 in 96 when Tupac's mother cried. Turned 20 in 2001 when Bush lied, and today in a world where black lives still don't matter. I'm way past 39. But I digress and rewind as I position my birth against and alongside several prominent figures and events across time. Thus, cataloging and commenting on the context each text provides until I reach back and find the jewels popular history far too often aligns. And then I'm done. The year was 1981. But before I tell you where I'm from and what I miss, follow me as the timeline shifts to 1862. 3 years before the Civil War was over, 4 years overdue, which was only 121 years before I turned 2. Yet that's the year Ida B. Wells Barnett was born. Born to rebel and fight for those caught in the net that Jim Crow set. Or should I say noose. Highlighting the contradictions left over after the North and South called their truce, only to let loose new forms of discrimination, hatred, and abuse. But what if payback wasn't a payment? And what if America's history wasn't just foul, but a flagrant? And our genius well-established in greatness, not new, novel, or nascent. What if I told you we were capable of more than just trying to educate our local neighborhood racists? And what if Black History Month covered more than just the basics? Reruns of your favorite male-dominated faces, holding hands, singing Amazing Graces. Nah, there are far too many hidden figures in our basements, like them sisters at NASA, face it. Yeah. Black girl magic has always been an understatement. But while Black resilience is more blatant, centuries of cultural assimilation leave folk determined to overstate myths. We weren't all kings and queens. It was fun to reminisce and push back. There's no need. We have a rich history and heritage without leaning on problematic hierarchies like these. Likewise, I'm not sure how useful it is to be preoccupied with the exceptionals on anybody's list, be it tragic sorrows or accomplished intellectuals. What we miss is the quotidian, or every day in which we live. Let's look to the masses for the classics and avoid being classist or simply limiting the avenues for our advancements. Instead of a month, we need a parade. Cultural centers and to stop getting played. They invaded more than just our privacy, frightfully, as John Henry Clark, even blind he could see, with all intent and irony, back to the days of African primacy, like the Aksum, Mali, and Songhai dynasties. Before the diasporic fracture and intra-racial divisions that were manufactured between those enslaved Africans dropped off in the Americas and those dropped off in the Caribbean. Our perspective, pride, and serenity is informed on how far back we go. So I suggest we let go of our fixation with plantation slavery, the Harlem Renaissance in the 60s, and I mean quickly. Drinking from a stagnant well will do little more than make us sickly. Let's celebrate more than just one segment, perhaps the present. Learn from the past and show reverence, but then let our brilliance flow swiftly into a future that's not tied to torment. Like, I was a 9th grader when I fell in love with Jada Pinkett, or should I say Peaches. You know, it was a low down dirty shame. She was chasing after Keenan. Then set it off with Latifah. In Jason's lyrics, she gave black love new meaning. Even showed up on a different world for a few seasons with Whitney and Dwayne. I know it's random, but this too is Black history is all I'm saying. And then there was Deja, or should I say Tyra Banks and Omar Epps and Higher Learning. And man, I owe John Singleton many thanks. He had me want to read more, run track, go to college, think about race, and well, marry Tyra Banks. I was a sophomore in high school, about to get expelled another time or two, yet Lawrence Fishburne was so cool, he had me feeling like being a professor was the thing to do. And I was in the 6th grade with no clue. Before I realized Jordy, Kunta Kinte, and that brother from Read the Rainbow were the same person. It's true. And when I watched The Wiz, I didn't even want Dorothy to go behind that curtain. I told her to mind her biz. Leave Richard Pryor alone. Stop flirting. Get your dog, click your heels, and let that man finish working. Yeah. But that's just me. See, I'm the type of brother that wanted Mr. Tita whoop on Rocky. Don't let me put on a leather jacket. I swore I was Shaft and Richard Roundtree. Sure enough, the younger me thought he was real tough. A bona fide Bruce Leroy. And right or wrong, then blaxploitation films brought me all kinds of joy. So did House Party, The Fresh Prince, and Living Color, and Martin, just to name a few. Unfortunately, losing Prince, Left Eye, Aaliyah, and Whitney had me feeling 50 Shades of Blue. Not to mention Nipsey, Morrison, and now Kobe. I'm sick. I mean, ill. I eat a Fuji's without Lauryn Hill, Netflix with no chill, or a Six Flags with no thrills, or a wedding with no frills, even worse, a barbecue with no grills. You really want to know what's Black history to me? Stuff like when Nas had that beef with Jay-Z, Chappelle took off overseas, the first 2 seasons of Boondocks, anything Morgan Freeman has ever said, and Michael Vick being freed. Now the list is not for everybody, but I can see, maybe just my cup of tea, but hopefully my point was received. Our limited conceptions of Black History Month leave me grieved. Why not let's have fun with it? Wouldn't that be okay?
Yeah.